You see it in the headlines all the time. Celebrity couples call it quits and the nasty divorce games begin. Britney Spears and Kevin Federline, Paul McCartney and Heather Mills, just to name a few. With big bucks at stake, who's pulling out their prenups and postnups and who's being taken to the cleaners? Take a look.
It's the end of the road for Britney and K-Fed.
The popstar saying if they divorced, Kevin had no right to any of her companies and would get $300,000 a year for half the length of their marriage.
Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe separated. The star couple did not have a prenup.
Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey are calling it quits.
Simpson didn't prenup back in 2002 because Nick was worth more then.
You're just doing yourself a tremendous disservice if you don't have a prenuptial agreement.
A divorce could cost Whitney plenty. There's real estate, music royalties, concert revenue, all acquired during their 14-year marriage.
Paul McCartney says he and wife Heather Mills are splitting up.
Heather has accused Paul of physical and mental cruelty, of choking, beating, and stabbing her.
Mills, McCartney reportedly did not sign a prenup. McCartney is worth approximately $1.5 billion.
Well, marriage contracts are not only for the rich and famous. More and more couples are asking each other to sign on the dotted line. But whatever happened to good old-fashioned trust? I don't know, maybe it's a 50% divorce rate. What happened until death do us part? My first guest, Darlene, says her estranged husband, Bobby, is the cheapest, most selfish man she has ever met. Now, they are currently separated, and he says that he will not reconcile unless she agrees to relinquish what he says are his assets. He wants her to sign something he calls a quitclaim. For her, that's a deal breaker.
My husband Bobby is the cheapest, most selfish person I have ever met. I worked 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, taking care of his businesses for 2 years, no salary. Now that we are living separately, he wants me to sign a legal document that quits my claim to any of his investment property. I'm not willing to do that.
I don't feel that someone that I've been married to for 3 years deserves to have half of what I've worked all my life for.
We never had a prenup. We met on the internet. We had a whirlwind courtship. 4 weeks later, we were married. I totally trusted Bobby. I sold my home in Canada, moved to Idaho, and I thought we would be together forever.
Darlene and I do love each other, but she has no right to my stuff.
He traveled constantly. I was running his business and working at my own business many hours a week. I was paying for half of all the bills. He wanted me to pay for 3/4 of the bills because he said my children and I equal 3 people.
She likes to cry that she's destitute, but she's not. She has a good business. She makes a lot of money.
We opened a checking account together. I was depositing all of my income and he was not contributing. And when I confronted him about it, he said I was mooching off of him. I was living rent-free. I was starting to ask myself, if I stay married to this man and I get some terrible illness, what's he going to do if I can't pay for my half of the mortgage? I left him.
Once I was served the divorce papers, I thought that, man, I wish I had a prenup.
He wants to reconcile, he says, but I don't trust his motives at all.
If Darlene won't file a quitclaim and give me total control of my assets, then that's a deal breaker.
If Bobby says to me, my way or the highway at this point, I'm taking the highway.
So you guys clearly aren't getting along. Have you missed her?
Sure. One thing you don't know is that we talk every day on the telephone.
So have you talked about this quitclaim?
Actually, I only spoke about it once. I really don't feel that somebody that I've been married to for 3 years deserves half of what I worked for you know, over a 30-year period.
But I just have something I'd like to say if I can, because I'm listening to him talk about this business as though it's his. He purchased his business 2 months before he married me, and I married him and left my country in the understanding that we would have a marriage and a partnership. And he was quite happy to have me helping him with the business as he traveled and hunted and played. I was there 7 days a week, working in his business unpaid. And if he wanted to keep it all to himself, I really think that, you know, maybe we should have had a prenup, but maybe he shouldn't have used my free services for 2 solid years.
Bobby acts as though he doesn't have much. He has 7 horses, 5 or 6 boats, a collection of vintage duck decoys, $50,000 in guns, a camper, a $13,000 horse trailer. Bobby's happy to spend extravagant amounts of money traveling. This is certainly not a man who's financially strapped.
She doesn't mention anything about her $600 Jimmy Choo shoes, Louis Vuitton purses, fancy sports car, going to the day spa. She spent a lot of money.
We're back with Darlene, who is outraged by her husband Bobby's demands for a postnuptial contract and says if she's forced to sign it, that this marriage is over. You're saying you're not going to sign this?
I won't sign it.
You won't sign it.
I won't.
Is therefore the marriage over? You're saying you're going to sign it, or I'm going to stop this now?
You know, she has nothing, really not much invested in the relationship financially. I think I'm better off cutting my losses now than I am to wait 15 years down the road and then really actually maybe owe something.
Do you think that marriage is a partnership?
Sure. Yeah,
but yet you've kept things really separate. Like you say you buy 90% of the food.
When we were living together, I was buying 90% of the food.
Okay, if teenager, hers, eats your food, you were expected to replace it?
No, not at all.
Actually, your Ritz crackers. He likes Ritz crackers. I don't eat them, rarely, and the kids don't really eat them. And he usually would buy his own Ritz crackers. But if one of us ate some Ritz crackers, this sounds really, I know this sounds silly, but then it got put on my list. It got put on my grocery list, is what I'm saying, to replace it.
Not true. You buy frozen vegetables and stuff, and you'd buy frozen pasta and microwave Pop-Tarts and all that kind of stuff. I don't eat that kind of stuff.
He was happy to eat the foods that I bought.
You didn't buy 90% of the food. We need milk, I go buy milk. We buy, other staples and stuff, I get the staples.
Because you feel like you make the money? Do you feel like you're entitled to make the decisions about the money?
I don't just make the money. Darlene makes a lot of money. She bought a $15,000 horse. Has a $650 a month board and training bill every month. She wanted a fancy sports car, which she abandoned. Darlene's not destitute. She's not only selfish with her money, she's selfish with her time. She wouldn't even take her daughter her daughter was going to go to the junior prom. She wouldn't even take the time to go down to the mall and get her daughter a dress. I'm the one that said, I'll take Lauren down and go to the dress. So what? Junior prom, one time in your kid's life.
And I've definitely taken my daughter shopping lots of times.
You don't even take the dogs out for more than 2 minutes at a time. Yeah, it's selfish with your time. You think it sounds funny? It's not funny. She takes the dogs out. I take them out for 30 minutes or an hour in the morning, let them run around. We had 4 dogs. And she takes the dogs out for 2 minutes and she's screaming and yelling at them, "Get back in here." Because all she wants to do is work and watch your show.
Whatever happened to good old-fashioned trust and till the death do us part? Leah says that her husband Gary wants her to agree in writing that everything they have is his.
My husband Gary wants me to sign a postnup stating that if we get a divorce, I leave here with nothing. I'm not okay with that.
I am worth over $1 million. 2002 Lexus SC430, 2001 360 Ferrari Spider. They're both mine, and I plan to keep them. My most prized possession is my business. That's what makes my world go around. If Leah divorced me tomorrow and took half my stuff, that's not fair.
To me, a postnup, prenup, any nup means that we might get a divorce, and I don't understand that at all. Gary and I have been married 4 years.
I didn't ask her to marry me. She just said we're going to Vegas and getting married, and I went along. As we were getting married, I was thinking that I shouldn't be here. I know that Leah loves me more than I love her. I'd get along fine without her. I want Leah to give up her rights to the stuff that I worked for. I bought the house in '87, and I'm the one who made all the payments. It's my stuff.
Are you nuts? I mean, I'm doing everything I can do to try to get us to grow closer, and you're wanting me to sign a prenup. That makes us grow even farther apart.
The other day, Leah said I was cheating on her.
He's like, we're just friends. So I said, if you don't call her right now, your ass is getting a divorce first thing tomorrow morning.
I'm not cheating on her. When Leah mentions divorce and I don't have a prenup, I'm nervous. She needs a cooler jets, take it easy, mellow out, twist up a fatty. Granted, if two Playboy playmates said it's you and us two, I might have a little problem, but that ain't gonna happen.
We have a shop in his name,
This business has equity.
our house, which is in his name, 7 cars. I don't have access to any checking account.
I just do not understand why she thinks we have to have a joint account. I give her cash, I pay the bills.
He thinks he's just gonna leave with all of what he's built. And I haven't had time to build anything, except a home. I'm gonna just leave that and walk out and not have any of that?
She can keep her Forerunner, pots, pans, the wedding ring.
I'm not gonna walk out of here with my clothes off my back after I've spent 12 years taking care of him. I don't know where he thinks that that is fair.
I'm the one who sacrificed. I'm the one who cried tears on the floor of that shop.
Y'all been married how long, Gary?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. You've lived together for 9 years. So aren't you kind of trying to get the cow back in the barn here after the fact? I mean, isn't this a conversation you should have had before you got married?
Yes.
Because you're now saying, well, okay, we're married, and what you're wanting her to do now is sign something that says she'll waive all that.
Yes. For the most part.
Right now, how's y'all's relationship going?
I think we get along great.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you want this to work?
I do.
So you want to get right back in there?
I do.
Okay, let me have that little clip that he said during the video.
I know that Leah loves me more than I love her. I'd get along fine without her. I want Leah to give up her rights.
Okay.
I've heard that before.
Do you think she's contributed to your success over the last 9 years?
Well, to be brutally honest, I would think to business, no.
Okay, do you think that you have? Do you think that you've contributed to his effectiveness in this world?
Well, knowing his attitude, he'd get by just fine without me.
There's your problem right there. Your self-worth is like way down here. Now, Judge Brown Reynolds is a sitting judge. Tell me, if she signs this and then comes before you in the court, they do get a divorce, she signs his postnup, where is she?
She's out of everything. Now, let me tell you this, if I can, because both of them need a reality check. You ever heard the saying, Gary, that it's cheaper to keep her? Well, let me tell you this. There is no way you can expect anybody here today to believe for 1 minute that she's going to walk away with nothing, because it's not going to happen.
Okay. Now, but if she signs this and comes before you, then despite what you might think is fair and equitable, your hands would be tied.
You got it right, Dr. Phil. There's nothing that anyone would be able to do. You have to understand there are men all over this country believing that their monetary contribution is more than the contribution that this woman has made. When you said you cried tears in your business, who was there to wipe away those tears? This woman. She was the one there to do it.
Okay, if she doesn't sign this post-nuptial agreement and winds up in court, is he going to be able to say, that was mine and you get none of that?
Absolutely not. What the court is going to do, we don't put a robe on and somehow leave our common sense outside. This makes sense to everybody, that this woman has stuck by your side. And let me tell you, the business, he probably didn't get a prenup because in the beginning, the business wasn't worth what it's worth now. Am I right?
Right.
But what happened is because she was there to nurture you, she was there to take care, wash your dirty clothes. She was there for you in every way. And now you think she's not entitled to anything, but let me tell you this. I have something I want to say to you, because let me tell you, sweetheart, you've got what I like to call a crumb mentality. All you want is the crumbs of his love. And when he leaves you, you can't pay your bills with his love and the love that you don't know that he really has for you. You've got to build yourself up, walk in your light and say, you're the man that you are today because I was right by your side to see to it.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.